Hello vinyl community, this is Randy back today with another video. Today is going to be my first Vinyl Finds of 2021 video. So I've gotten just a few records here in the first couple weeks of January. So I'm going to show those to you today. These aren't necessarily in the order that I got them, but yeah, I'm going to show these to you. The first one is the Bomboras. It came from Pier 13. So this album came out in 1995. This is an instrumental record. There's no vocals on this record. We are hearing the Bomboras in the background right now. What we're hearing is the previous album, their first album, Instrumental Sounds of the Bomboras, Savage Island, and that is on Dionysus Records. This is also on Dionysus Records, so both of them have these fantastic album covers. So I guess they were part of the surf rock revival of the 1990s, and Dionysus always has these fantastic album covers. So yeah, this is supposed to look like it would be a soundtrack for a movie, I suppose, and then it tells the details back here, I guess, of what the movie would have been like if there really had been a movie. Very cool cartoon type pictures over there on the side. And yeah, here's the members of the band down here. One thing that I was not aware of, I think a special guest star, so this must have been the only one that he played on. Billy Zoom from the band X plays 6-string bass and sax on this. So yeah, this is fantastic. Some of the songs on here are cover songs, so they actually cover a Ventures song, The Creeper, and The Ninth Wave. They do a song called Stormy, but it's not the song from the 1960s, not the song that the Ventures covered called Stormy. It's a different song called Stormy. Here is the label for that one, so I'm going to show you this label, especially this part over here. Is a lot like the Liberty label from the 1960s when the Ventures were on the Liberty label. Liberty, the first family of entertainment, and their label looked like that. So you can see that the Bomboras sort of, or maybe Dionysus Records, modeled their label after that one. I think they did. Looks like they did. I got from that same Discogs vendors that I got that record from, this Jimi Hendrix record. I was really glad to get this one. 9 to the Universe is the name of this record. This is an instrumental record. There's no vocals on this one either. Kind of like the Bomboras. Doesn't really sound like the Bomboras. This is just some jamming guitar. I guess you'd call it psychedelic or just blues oriented. Jamming on guitar. So this was recorded mostly in '69. This was released after he died in 1979 or 1980. I think this is the pressing from back then. I was really glad to get it in such great condition. And so this tells the story about all the recording back here. So 5 songs, and he's playing with 2 different drummers, Billy Cox and Mitch Mitchell. Also a couple different bass players, Roland Robinson and Billy Cox. It's really cool. Jim McCarty plays guitar on the second song, Jimmy Jam, that's what that's called. Larry Lee, the guy who played guitar with him at Woodstock, also plays on Easy Blues. So in Woodstock, you really couldn't hear Larry Lee at all. You could see him standing back there next to Billy Cox, the bass player, but you couldn't hear his guitar. Not in the movie anyway. I think maybe if you get the whole Woodstock performance, there's parts of it where you can hear his rhythm guitar work. On this one, though, you can hear him playing, and he sounds good. Jim McCarty really sounds good playing together with Jimmy. And but really, the main reason I got this record was because the first song on side 2, Young Hendrix. So that is organist Larry Young playing organ, while Billy Cox and Mitch Mitchell also play with Jimmy, so that's a fantastic jam. Larry Young, a fantastic organist. I guess he was a Blue Note organist from the early 60s. And it looks like he was brought into the recording studio to work with Jimmy by some of the people who'd been working with Miles Davis at the time. So Tony Williams and Herbie Hancock, I guess. So yeah, so this is an instrumental record, just some free, just some jamming. So it's really fantastic. The record came with this original insert here, which gives you the opportunity to send off for a compilation album. And really the coolest thing is this cool inner sleeve that I've never seen before. So it has his birth and death dates down there in the bottom, and then his reprise catalog on the back of it. So very cool. Very cool record. This is on the reprise record label. From that same vendor, I got this Shoes album. Shoes, present tense. This is an album that came out in 1979. This is a band that I believe would be classified as power pop. So I've definitely seen Hannah showing this record, and I think some other people have shown it too. And I was really glad to get this one again. I got this record when it came out. This is one that I just saw on the at the record store and picked it up. Yeah, power pop for sure. So these are really all relationship songs, and just two guitars, bass, and drums. Pretty standard rock and roll. It really sounds fantastic. This is another one of those records that, yeah, like I said, I got it when it came out. I lost it somewhere along the line a long time ago, but I do still have somewhere around here, there is a cassette tape floating around that it used to be in my car and everything. So first time I'd heard this record for a while, but boy, I tell you, just another one of these that I could sing along with every word, every song, and just listen to it so much back then. So yeah, Shoes. Present tense. This is their first record on a major label. They had a couple of independently released records before then. This is on Elektra Records. Comes with this lyric sheet. This is actually the original inner sleeve. It came with it. So yeah, I'm really glad to get that one. And then also from the same vendor, got 4 records from one vendor there on Discogs. It was really cool because I got one of the notices that said one of the records on my want list was available from this vendor, and then when I clicked on that, it said they had 3 other records that were on my want list, and yeah, I got them all. So this is the last one I got from that vendor. Henry Mancini and Doc Severinsen, Brass on Ivory. This is a 1972 album. This is on RCA Records. So Henry Mancini, really, I guess, known for his soundtracks in the 1960s, but instrumental, conductor, and also plays piano. So he plays piano on here. Doc Severinsen, the trumpet player on this album, he's playing flugelhorn. Best known as the music director for The Tonight Show. Once again, this is another instrumental album, and they're just mostly just doing some hits of the 1960s on here. They do a fantastic version of Dreamsville, which is a song that Henry Mancini had on his Peter Gunn soundtrack albums. There's an original on here called Brass on Ivory. And then they do some hit songs from the time. So We've Only Just Begun, The Association's Never My Love, Misty, Brian's song. They do the song Brian's song, The Hands of Time. Who remembers Brian's song? That was the theme song. Brian's song was a movie about football player Brian Piccolo, who played for the Chicago Bears and tragically died in early death from leukemia. I remember this movie came out when I was like in 7th or 8th grade. Everybody was still crying the next morning when they got to school. It was very sad, maybe. Dynaflex is that Mancini record. I pre-ordered this record, Easter Everywhere by the 13th Floor Elevators. Elusive Disc had this available for pre-order, gosh, I think back in like September or October, and evidently it was delayed somehow. I think this is on Charlie Records, and this is a 2-record set. It has stereo and mono versions of Easter Everywhere. I already had this record. I have a red vinyl copy of it that I think was one of the originals. That copy, it didn't sound just perfect, really, and this really is a great record, so I wanted to see if I could find one that sounded better. The stereo one here sounds, I think, just about the same, really, but the mono version of this is just fantastic. I mean, this is definitely the way this record should be listened to. It just sounds so much better. So I'm really glad I got this mono version, so now I have 2 stereo copies. It also has the history of the recording over here, or at least the history of the recording up through like 1967. So it tells about 3 pressings of the record that came out back then. It also tells about 3 45s from the album that were released. Levitation, She Lives in a Time of Her Own, and Slip Inside This House. It's a short version of Slip Inside This House, only 4 minutes long. It's about 7 minutes long on the album. The picture of the place where they rehearsed, I guess, and good picture of the band there. So, yeah, I think this was reissued in Europe a while back. I think it was remastered maybe in like 2000 or 2008, and I think it was already available in Europe, and maybe it was pressed again. I'm just not sure. It was a pre-order, and then it got delayed, so it finally got to me here in January. So I'm pretty sure this is still the 2007 remaster. Anyway, sounds fantastic. Elusive disc. So, yeah, here is what the stereo version of it looks like. This is on black vinyl. This label is exactly the same as the label that's on my red vinyl. I mean, there really are no markers to differentiate the versions. This is really cool because it has the lyrics, which I did not have on that first version that I got, so great to have the lyrics here. And then it tells in that history there were really just very few mono copies released in the first place, and they were for radio stations. So this is actually released on a white label promo type record. Yeah, promotional copy, not for sale. So, but yeah, this mono one sounds great. So I would have, if you're looking for if you have this record and maybe the stereo is just kind of weird. It's not totally balanced. I think one side is louder than the other, and on that red one that I have, the first copy that I have. So, anyway, I was just going to show this one record again. This is one that I got towards the end of the year, and I showed very briefly in my vinyl tag. But I forgot to even mention the name of the record, I think, and that one was the name of this album is The Feedback Sutras. The name of the band is Taroplane. So that is spelled Tarotplane. They are an instrumental band. I think it's just a couple of people, and this is mostly guitar-oriented rock and roll. So, yeah. Let me pause here just for a second. Yeah, so I just wanted to mention this one again because I very briefly mentioned in that vinyl tag. So this came out in July, but I didn't get it until very late in December, so it didn't make my 2020 year in review. But I've had it for a couple weeks now, and I've listened to it quite a bit, and I tell you, this would have been in my top 5 for the year. Probably about number 4 or 5 up there. This is just another instrumental album, 1 song on each side, so it's mostly just these guys making some, maybe some synthesizers or something like that, but mostly some guitars come in later, so it builds up slowly, and really has some intense jamming towards the end. And then side 2, which is called Between Two Islands, is kind of like some Frippertonics. It really does sound a lot like the Exposure album at the beginning of it, but this one also, by the time it gets to the end of the side, has some really cool guitar work on it. So, yeah, The Feedback Sutras is the name of this. And then also, I just wanted to be sure I mentioned that this is on VG Plus Records. I think in the vinyl tag I said it was on Beyond is Beyond Records, which their first record was, but this one is on VG Plus Records. So I got this one through Bandcamp, actually, and yeah, like I say, it just sounds fantastic. I downloaded it to my MP3 player, to my iPod, in probably like October or November or something, November, December, and sounded okay through there, but It was kind of like that Sonic Boom record. When I got the record, it really just sounded so much better. So, made a big difference. So, that's it for the records I've got here in the first part of January 2021. So, I'm interested to know your thoughts on any of those records. And, yeah, I guess that's it. I hope everybody's having a great day. Thanks very much for watching.